Hey guys, welcome back to the TBR Diaries. We are moving on to part 12. Can't believe it's been that many. Um, for those just joining us, this is a little mini series where I am attempting to organize my physical TBR. And as I do so, I'm just kind of going through and discussing the books with you all. I don't know about y'all, but I've been enjoying this. Plus A, I like organizing, and B, it lets me see, what books I have to read because some of these I forgot I even had. But anyway, um, as a reminder, here's what my current physical TBR looks like. It does also extend around the corner there to a second bookcase that is almost full as well. So, as you can see, it's gotten out of control. Um, but yeah, so there's three books I want to talk about today. The first book that I want to talk about is That's Not My Name, and this is by Megan Lally. Um, so this is a thriller or suspense horror. I think this is more falls under the suspense thriller category. Um, But we have our FMC, who is a teen that wakes up on the side of a dirt road with no memory of who she is or how she got there. Um, a man shows up at the police station claiming to be her father and says her name is Mary, and he has like her school ID, her birth certificate. He even has family photos. So that's our FMC. Then we have our MMC, Drew. And Drew got into an argument with his girlfriend, Lola. And she stormed off into the night and has since disappeared. No one has seen her. Everyone is convinced that Drew killed her. So he's pretty frantic to find her, not just to clear his name, but because that's his girlfriend. And, she's disappeared. Um, but yeah, so I've been holding off on reading this one because one of my friends, Carrie, also has this book, and we are going to do a buddy read of it together. So we're just trying to find a time that works with both of our schedules to get this one read. But yeah, so that's why that one's still sitting on the TBR. The next book I want to talk about is The Hazelwood, and this is by Melissa Albert. Um, so this one it's YA, but I think it's a YA fantasy. So we have our FMC, who is 17-year-old Alice, and she and her mother have spent most of Alice's life kind of on the road, always trying to stay like one step ahead of kind of this bad luck that seems to always be following them. Um, Alice's grandmother ends up passing away, and she was a reclusive but famous author of a book of very dark fairy tales. And so she has this estate called the Hazelwood, and that's where the grandmother lives, and she passed away on her estate. Now, her mother ends up getting kidnapped by someone who is claiming to be from the world, right? This fictional world that her grandmother writes about. Um, and so Alice teams up with one of her classmates, who happens to be a fairy tale super fan. And his name is Ellery. Ellery. I'm not quite sure how to say that. But he and Alice team up trying to rescue her mother. Um, he may have ulterior motives, but we don't know about those. Um, but yeah, so this looks like a little YA fantasy. Sounds really interesting. I think this was one I got. This was one I got in my Christmas book advent calendar. So I'm really excited to get into this one. And then the last book I want to talk about here is The X Hex, and that's by Aaron Sterling. And so for this one, we have our FMC Vivian, and she's a witch who just got dumped, and she ends up putting a curse on her now ex. 9 years later, he returns to their small town, and it becomes obvious that her hex may have gone too far when his every move just ends in calamity. Um, the curse starts to affect the magic of the town where she lives. And so they have to put their personal feelings aside and try to break the curse so that they can not only save the town, but also save the ex boyfriend's life. And who knows, right? Maybe they'll rekindle. I don't know. That wasn't in the synopsis, but usually when you're talking about exes, this is a second chance romance. So I'm going to assume that's where this one goes. No good reason why I haven't read this one yet, other than I tend to forget about it because there's just so many books to pick from. But yeah, maybe I need to move this one up the list. But those are the 3 books that I wanted to talk about today. Let me know down in the comments if you've read any of them, what you thought about them, or if you want to read any of them. Yeah, let me know, and we'll look forward to the next part, which would be part 13. That's crazy.